So I thought I would show you the feather effect that I've used. This is one of my favorite videos, maybe because of the song. I muted it because it won't get through Facebook. But I've used the feathering effect a few times for the effect of having a memory and kind of just blurring the edges. So I thought that I would show you how to use the feathering effect. I just got to get past all that longer video. So I created this again, and I'm going to help you to do the same. First, you're going to get a background, and I think it was Park. I always do this. I forget to remember what the backgrounds are. There it is. Picnic. So I'm going to put that there. And then what I do, let me move this for a minute. I can change the background from here and I can make it whatever color I want it to be. I had a green color. I tend to, instead of doing that, I tend to take a rectangle and then expand it and put it under. And the reason why I do that is because then I can change the color. I just moved the wrong one. I can change the color. I can use a gradient. I can do all sorts of things for that. And on the background itself, you can't really change anything. You can only have the color like that. So you couldn't make a gradient. You couldn't make any kind of changes. You can't use color picker. So that's why I tend to use that. And speaking of color picker, I tend to like the color I have in this original better. So I'm going to steal it. And now that will be the same background. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase, just so I don't run out of space. Then what I did is I masked the background. So I just grabbed a circle and I just reshaped it into whatever I want. I can change it again when I am in there. But let's say we have that. I'm just going to select both, right click and mask. Then I can click on it and move it up here. I can detach the mask and say I want more of the picture, but now look, the picture's too small, so it has the edge. So what I can do for that is reattach the mask, double click, and now you can see in a darker color the background. So I can click on that and I can, I didn't grab the image because the mask is falling over it a little bit. So I actually am going to reduce this for a minute so I can grab the image like this, see? And I can make it a little bit bigger. And now I can kind of say where I might want the image to be, but I can keep going in there and changing it as long as I can grab the outside. Then I can always make this mask a little bit bigger if I want it. I might want it tall. If you've seen enough of my tutorials, you know I always forget to detach the mask before I try to change it. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I am going to unmask it for the moment because I'm going to add Bella into our video. I'm going to go grab Bella. I am going to make her run in. Then I'm going to have her transform into a princess. Then I'm going to have her blow Wave and blow kisses. All right. I'm going to put her right above here. Let's see. I am going to disable the starting animation. And then if you look here, she's running in the wrong way if I'm going to have her run in from this side. So all you have to do is right here, these two arrows, I can switch, or I can go to properties, and here it is with a flip here. I'm going to put her off screen, and she's already ready to run because I disabled the starting animation. I'm going to make sure I select Bella, add an animation of position, easing linear. Then I'm going to make sure I'm on my end keyframe and put her where I want her. That looks like I got that end keyframe in a good spot. And there we go. Now what I'm going to do is I already had that mask set up. So I'm going to select Bella and the background image, and I'm going to group it. I tend to use Command G, but you can also group from right-click group. Then I am going to mask it with the circle. And I guess that looks good. I mean, we could fix that, but I'm not going to take that time now. Now we want to add the feather. And you find that up here in Effects and Components. And it's down at the bottom. I'm going to click and drag it to my group here on the timeline, or I can do it here on the canvas. Then it's going to open up. I lost it, but that's okay because I can show you where to find it again. Is if you click on the group, you have your settings, your motion animations, and your effects. Click on that, click on feather, and then you can change. I kind of like it maybe like that, but now it's made the image too small. But that's okay because that's easy to fix. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to detach the mask, and then I can just play around with it, make it a little bit bigger perhaps. I could make it smaller if I want. I can make it bigger. Whoop. I can move it by clicking and dragging on where I might want it to be. So you really can just do whatever you want with it. When it's detached, then make sure you attach it again. And now, there we go. Perfect. And I just had, because it was a memory, I just had a couple of the characters sitting. I knew this one had an action of sitting and listening to music. I can flip her. I can make her bigger. Well, that's kind of big. I can put her sitting in the corner. And there is her memory. You can play with that. The other thing that you can do is take this group and you can create a little bit of a feather, a shadow effect that will bring it up a little bit if you want. And it can kind of give it, you can play around with it a little if you want it to look like it's a little bit of a dimension to it. You can play around with where the feather goes. You can play around with the color of the feather, the shadow, sorry, I'm calling it feather. You know, maybe it could look green. That doesn't really show the depth, but you can just play around with it. So that is how you use the feather effect. Have fun.